Hello and welcome to the art room. This is a free art lesson. It's going to be brief, but hopefully I will give you some good ideas about backgrounds. Now, whether you're a professional artist, a Sunday painter, a school teacher, or a mom or dad, backgrounds are often the most challenging and annoying part of the art project, because once you've done your subject, in this case it's a beautiful horse in silhouette by one of my, I think, 12-year-old students. Once you've done your beautiful subject, the background can be a bit of a bore, and particularly with younger children, it's quite a task to get them to color and fill a background once they've completed the emotionally engaging part of the lesson. So a little trick that we've devised for filling in that background area quite successfully is what we call the chalk rub method. Now, if you've ever used wonderful chalk pastels, which as you know are soft, you can see all the powder here. In fact, you'll see it if I do that. Chalk pastel can be messy. And as such, with younger students, it's quite a challenge because the natural inclination is to smash it down and make an enormous, horrible mess, because you are using a support, a paper or a board, which is not professional and will not catch all of that pastel. Now, if you're a professional artist, you may be fortunate enough to use the wonderful things that are out there, the sanded surfaces, which will catch and your pastel will cling on to it. However, in a less than professional setting, for instance, a schoolroom, you can still enjoy the color and the pleasure of pastel with this method. So if you look at this, you'll see that the horse is silhouetted against a very light blue background, and then a sky which is actually disappearing there, and a suggestion of the ground, the dirt underneath. Now, this would take an awful long time to color, and plus which it would be almost impossible to color it evenly if you were using marker or color pencil or something of that nature. So here's what we do. We create a little palette. I call it a little palette of chalk pastel dust. Okay, so actually, to share an interesting tip with you, particularly if you're a professional artist, they have come out with pastel pans in recent years where you can actually get the pastel on a brush or a tissue or a blender out of a pan. But for those of us in the schoolroom, if you're using the regular chalk pastel, you take your pastel, don't give it to the child, particularly if it's a young child, and you make a little palette of dust. Now, of course, your students can pick whatever colors they want, or if you're working with adults or yourself, of course, the sky's the limit. But here's the trick. You make the little palette of dust on a separate piece of paper, not here. Then when you pick it up, you can blend it in like so, and look at that lovely, smooth, atmospheric background that you can create. Now we can change that. We can get a sky that perhaps looks a bit stormy or cloudy by adding some light, some different tones. That's probably a little dark. Let's look for maybe some grays. And of course, with children, they love to, you know, if you hold the pastels and you say, okay, pick 3 colors, of course, that's the most exciting thing in the whole world. So we're going to get these, and we're going to kind of smoosh them a little bit together on the trusty tissue. Actually, now I'll show you what's going to happen. I realized my tissue was all creased up. So look, this is very neat. To tell you the truth, I discovered this myself quite recently. So look what's happening with my pastel rub in the background. Instant faux finish. So this gives me a real pretty sky effect, because it looks like a very, very light cirrus cloud scudding across the sky. At least that's what I think. I hope you agree. Now, if you want a smoother, calmer sky, you may want to go with a piece of cotton like this. We'll need a little more chalk dust on our palette. There, I've made a little chalk dust on my palette. Now I'm going to take a smooth surface like this. Actually, cotton balls work great. And if you're in the classroom, the kids think cotton balls is the best thing since sliced bread. So look how beautiful that is. Isn't that a pretty background? Now on top of that, of course, you can create some, take the actual stick and create some cloud. You can break a little piece off and use it on its side. All kinds of wonderful things like that. But the whole point of this free art lesson is to let you know, and maybe you know it already, that chalk pastels can be used very successfully without an enormous mess, without crushing them to pieces and trampling them underfoot, and to help your students create a wonderful light atmospheric background to their work. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.